Okay, this is lesson 18 for module 7, 8th grade on applications of a Pythagorean theorem. So we have this right triangle here, and the question says the area of the right triangle shown below is 26.46 inches squared. What is the perimeter of this right triangle? Round your answer to the nearest tenths. All right, so the first thing we want to do is find the area, solve out all the area, because as you can see here, I have my base. I need to find my height, and then eventually I need to find my hypotenuse. So I actually have my A, I need to find the B, and I need to find the C here. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with the area formula of a triangle, which is area equals half the base times the height. Now they already told me that my area was 26.46 equals half of 6.3 times the height. Now, fractions just mean to divide, so I'm going to divide this out, grab my calculator. I'm going to say 6.3 divided by 2, and I get 3.15. So I have 26.46 equals 3.15H. Now we're going to divide by 3.15. So on your calculator, I'm going to say 26.46 divided by 3.15, and I get 8.4. So my height is equal to 8.4. So this is now 8.4. So since I have my two legs of my right triangle, I can now solve for my hypotenuse C. And we're going to say 6.3. Actually, let me make some room here. I'm going to erase that. 6.3 squared plus 8.4. 8.4 squared is going to equal C squared. So on my calculator, I'm going to say 6.3 squared. There we go. I get 39.69 plus, all right, let's do 8.4 squared. 70.56 equals C squared. We're going to add those two together, and when we do, we get 110.25 equals C squared. I'm now going to square root both of these, and I wind up with C equals square root of 110.25. So on my calculator, I do 110.25 and I square it and I get 10.5. So C equals plus or minus 10.5. All right, let's do the next one. So we have this board. It's kind of like those science fair boards. All right. If you notice, we have two right triangles on the sides, which is holding up the board in the back. And in the back, we have this big rectangular shape, I should say. So determine the length of C. So what we're going to do is find out what C equals here. And then how much would you need to kind of cover this all up is where we're going to go with this. So the first thing I want to do is find the area of the triangles. So we're going to say area equals half the base times the height. So I have half of 3 times 8. So half of 24 gives me 12. So this one's 12 and this one's 12. Now we have the rectangle in the back. The formula we're going to use for that is length times width. So I'm going to do 10 times, well, I actually don't know because this is kind of slanted. So we need to find Pythagorean theorem before we can solve for this. So put this one on hold. We're going to come up here real quick and do some Pythagorean theorem. I need to find out how much this slant is back here for the 10. So 10 times its width. I don't have a width. It's not a perfect square. So I'm going to say 8 squared plus 3 squared equals C squared. And that will give me this number here. The 12 is not that number. This is the area. So I need to find that C. So I'm going to put 64 plus 9 equals C squared. 73 equals C squared. Now I'm going to take the square root of both of these. And I get C equals the square root of 73, which on your calculator comes to 8.5. Oh, so this is 8.5, my C's. Now I can come down here and put in my width. So my length is 10 long, and the width is 8.5. So when I multiply 10 times 8.5, I get 85. So if I were to find the area of everything here, I'm going to take all the numbers I have. Now, since I have two 12s, that's going to be 12 plus 12 plus 85. So on my calculator, I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to clear this out. And I'm going to say 12 plus 12 plus 85, and that gives me 109. So my grand total for my area is 109 feet squared. All right, let's go to the next question. Oh, I think I skipped this one here. So the next question here, B, because I just went right past it. B is asking how much netting is needed to cover the entire thing. That would be 109 feet squared. All right, just so you know to put the answer there. We did the work up above, but the answer goes there. Number 3, we have this TV. All right, the TV has a ratio of 4:3. So one thing when I mention, I say the word ratio and we're solving for sides, always make this 4x and then 3x because they're going to multiply by the same value. Just one of them is going to be 4 times bigger. One of them is going to be 3 times bigger. All right. So down here, a TV has a length of 20 and a width of 15. So the length is 20. The width is 15. For example, its sides are a 4:3 ratio right up here. As does the TV with the length of 4x and 3x, which is what I wrote up here. What is the advertised size of this TV with a length of 20 inches and width of 15 inches? So whenever they measure TVs, they always measure from the corner to the corner. It's a diagonal measurement. So if you're getting a 65-inch screen TV, it's 65 inches from the corners, the diagonals. They never measure going across. It's always the diagonal measurement. So what we're going to do is put this into Pythagorean theorem. I'm going to say 20 squared plus 15 squared equals c squared. This gives you 400 plus 225 equals c squared. 400 plus 225 gives you 625 equals c squared. Now I'm going to square both of these. And this gives me C equals 25. So how big is this actual TV? They would advertise it as a 25-inch TV. B says a 42-inch TV was given to your family. What is the length and the width of that TV? So let's go in reverse. If they told you that the TV is 42 inches and we're still using a ratio of 4:3, then we're going to say 3x squared plus 4x squared, squaring both of these, I should probably put that in parentheses there for you, will equal 42 inches squared. Now 42 inches is the C because again, they measure in the hypotenuse size. So now we're going to go ahead and solve this out and I get 9x squared plus 16x squared equals 1764. Combine your like terms here. 9 plus 16 gives me 25x squared equals 1764. I'm going to go ahead and divide by 25 because I want that x squared by itself. And my 25's cancel, leaving me with x squared equals 70.56. Now we're going to go ahead and take the square root of both of those. And when you grab your calculator, we're going to say 70.56 square root gives me 8.4. So x equals 8.4. Now, if 8.4 is your dimensions of the TV, then you have a 4 by 8.4 because it's a 4:3 ratio. So we're going to say if it's a 4 times 8.4, because you have 4 sides as well, which will equal 33.6. Therefore, you have a 3 by 8.4, again, because it's a 4:3 ratio. So your final measurements is a 25.2 inch square TV. So your measurements would come out to 25.2 inches. All right, let's go on to the next one. So we're going to check our dimensions. We're going to see if this all worked out. So we're going to put in 33.6 squared plus the 25.2 squared, and that should equal our TV of 42 inches. So 33.6 squared comes to 1012, sorry, it'll come out eventually, 0.96 plus 635.04 equals 1764. All right, let's add those two together, and I get 1764 equals 1764. So we checked it right. It's working. We're good. Now, if your table only fits is only 30 inches long, the table is only 30 inches long, will your TV fit if it's 33.6 inches long? The answer here would be no. All right, let's go on to number 4. Now, number 4, they gave you some coordinates. Now, to find out your length and width, we have to find out the difference between these. So the easiest way for me was to use your slope-intercept form. So we're going to use y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Now, again, this is x1 and 2. This is, or x1 and 1. This is 2 and 2. So I'm going to say negative 2 minus 4 over negative 3 minus 7. Okay, well, let's go ahead and solve those out. And I get negative 6 over negative 10, which gives me 6 and 10. So I'm going to use 10 and 6. So now I'm going to say 10 squared plus 6 squared equals c squared. 100 plus 36 equals c squared. 136 equals c squared. Now I'm going to go ahead and take the square root of both of these. And that gives me c equals root 136. And if you do that on your calculator, it comes out to 11.7 units. All right, I'm going to have you guys do B. B is just like here. You're going to find out your two numbers. Come down here real quick, though. We have C. I want you to go ahead and skip C. That's a discussion one that we will do at another time. And then you're going to go ahead and do number 5 as well. So that ends this video tutorial.